So our great pal Charlie Hurt writes in the Washington Times, and I quote, Biden's doomsday doctrine. In barely 1 year in office, Mr. Biden has amped the chaos to new and real and serious levels never dreamed of during the previous administration. And me, I just yearn for the calm, peaceful, orderly days of President Donald Trump. Here is, in person, Charlie Hurt joins me now to talk about it, Washington Times opinion editor and Fox News contributor. You know, Charlie, I had this riff a while back as the Biden chaos descended on us. I yearn for the calm, peaceful days of Donald Trump. I mean, basically, the difference being a lot of things went right with Trump on the economy and inflation and gasoline prices. And it seems to me nothing's gone right for Biden. Or is that what you're saying?
Right. Right, exactly. No, it's kind of interesting. The only drawback to the Trump administration, because as you point out, everything, in terms of things that actually matter, everything was going great. The only problem was all of Washington and all the media absolutely lost their minds. Their hair was on fire. They were running around, and they wouldn't shut up about everything. They were making up all of these crises that didn't really exist. And at some point, after 3-4 years, it becomes exhausting. And so I think there were probably a lot of people who figured that Biden was probably harmless, and they literally voted for him literally because they just didn't want him to tweet, and they wanted the chaos to stop. And what have we seen in just 1 year? The chaos has tripled. The chaos has gotten really serious. It's no longer about, fantasies about Russian hookers urinating in a room, in a hotel room in Moscow. We're talking about life and death. We're talking about war. We're talking about invasion of the border. We're talking about inflation. We're talking about people not able to afford to fill up their cars with gasoline. All because of this guy. And then it turns out his cheese is sliding off his cracker, or has already slid off his cracker, which adds a whole nother level of chaos to all of it.
I don't want you to flesh that out. It's really his cheese is
probably not best. But
it's fabulous.
But where is his family? Honestly, these issues have gotten so serious that somebody needs to take him by the hand and just say, hey, listen, man, it's been a great 50-year career, but this is twilight. You're not up to the task, because people are paying a grievous price for his ineptitude and his and whatever cognitive problems he's going through.
You know, Charlie, one other point. Maybe it's going to have to wait until the cavalry comes after the election. But I think this Hunter Biden laptop stuff is just a whole mess of problems for Joe Biden. I mean, I frankly don't care that much about Hunter Biden or what happens to him. It's his father who was vice president, who could have been on the take. It's his father who was president, could still be on the take. I mean, I think this is another hornet's nest that's about to blow up in Joe Biden's face, and I think they're completely unprepared for it.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I also think that for the first time, although, as you point out, Miranda Devine in the New York Post, they've been reporting on this stuff for over a year now. And now suddenly you've got the Washington Post and the New York Times and some of these other media outlets who are starting to shine a light on it. And that's fantastic. Let's not forget that they're way late to the party and they're reporting stuff that has already been reported. But it does underscore, I think, exactly what you're saying, which is that this is going to get really, really ugly. And when just on the face of it, the obvious evidence of extensive corruption and blackmail that could be going on here that we don't even, that's just the stuff that's obvious to us.
I know,
no telling all of the other tentacles that these people are up against right now.
We are going to find, with show me the money, stuff is going to come out that is going to be incredibly embarrassing and illegal to this president. All right? It hasn't happened yet. I'm just saying. It's out there. You wait and see. It's out there. Because remember, I got to go, but Charlie, remember, Bobulinski said save 10% for the big guy. And that big guy, 10%, was while he was vice president. Whether he's still getting money, I don't know. But it's going to be another thing. Anyway, we will continue to yearn for the calm Trump days. Charlie Hurt, thank you for reminding us of that very much. See you soon.